This is a solar farm. It is one of 79 such installations in Canada, and this particularly charming specimen is located in Amherstburg, Ontario. And if you don't actually know where that is, think Windsor, Ontario, and then drive south. If you've never heard of Windsor and also don't know where that is, well, you're in good company. It's a town people move away from. Additionally, most of the inhabited planet has no clue about either of those two metropolises and have managed to live a normal life regardless. But I digress. Covering an area of approximately 33 hectares, or 4,448,232 average American frying pans for our southern friends, it is a 10 megawatt plant that is one of the 3 sites originally built by a company called First Solar, and was then bought by a consortium formed by Altera Power Corp and GE Energy Financial Services for $200 million back in 2013. Which, while looking like a lot of cabbage, is cheap, considering it was originally built for somewhere around $237 million back in 2011. Then, in December of 2013, Altera sold its interest in the plant to another consortium headed up by Fiera Axiom Infrastructure. Then, after a lot of other mergers, sales, acquisitions, partial sales, and more mergers, and whatever the heck big business does best, like creating value for shareholders while simultaneously destroying the planet we live on, it ended up being owned by an outfit called Helios Solar Star A1 Partnership. I can't believe I actually had to contact the Ontario Energy Board to mine that particular nugget. Anyways, when you realize the meaning of the Greek word helios, the etymology of the word solar, and the fact that all suns are stars, you get an obfuscated name that essentially means Sun A1 Partnership. Maybe it's a conspiracy to hide how the company actually generates power. Well, maybe I've spent too much time listening to the tinfoil hat army on TikTok. Either way, it's a weird name, and I've clearly spent too much time thinking about that. Moving on. This photovoltaic installation can, as mentioned before, produce 10 megawatts of power on a sunny day. On a moonlit night, it's probably a little less than that. It's enough power to supply the needs of some 8,000 typically inefficiently built North American homes on an average day. However, to say that it'll keep the lights on is a little misleading, as you only use those in the dark, when this thing is doing absolutely nothing. However, beyond the obvious limitations of cloudy days, nighttime, the maintenance required to clean them and keep them snow-free, there are some remarkable advantages to these power plants. This particular installation apparently can offset carbon emissions to the tune of some 12,500 tons per year. Because of that, according to a recent study, a solar farm potentially reduces carbon emissions at a greater rate per square meter than trees do. As well, they are quiet and non-polluting and can be installed in areas where land is not really suitable for growing crops. In the United States, power companies are exploring the possibility of installing them over irrigation canals. One study in California indicated that if the state's 6,400 kilometers of canals were covered by solar panels, it would prevent some 238,480,942,392 liters of water from evaporating per year, as well as cooling the solar panels, thereby increasing their efficiency and longevity. Additionally, research into grid-scale power storage is making advancements so that excess power can be stored and then released into the grid at peak demand times. Maybe like right now, when you're watching this most excellently produced video on the YouTube. Is this method of power generation perfect? Perhaps not. After all, they're not called lunar panels for, well, reasons. However, when combined with other forms of renewable energy, they contribute to reductions in greenhouse gases the world over. Unlike cows, there are an estimated 1.3 to 1.5 billion ungulates of the family Bovidae on this particular planet, and they produce methane at a rather alarming rate, either as burps or as farts. According to one study done in the UK, the global population of cows produces more greenhouse gases than the world's combined numbers of cars do. You heard it here, folks. Belches from Farmer Brown's bovine friend Bessie are cooking the planet faster than an American in an automobile. Suddenly, the power generated by a solar farm that can offset carbon emissions doesn't look so crazy after all. Love it or leave it, solar power is here to stay. And, as always, thanks for watching. Oh, one more thing. Aren't we all glad that cows are actually made out of steak?